Slightly inaccurate.
Even when you were asked on the non-confrontational questions by your lawyer, Mr. Kennedy, when you said that it was incorrect, right? Right? Right?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. It couldn't have been one motion. You knocked it in the air and you grabbed it, right?
The arm was in one motion.
But
I was
the grabbing...
talking about my arm.
Wait. And the grabbing, was that a different motion?
It was all part of the same motion.
The grabbing was one motion and the arm was one motion?
I hit her arm, and as the gun popped out of her hand, my arm continued and grabbed it.
As it flipped around?
Yes.
And pointed at her?
Yes.
And your... How tragic it was that not only were you able to grab this flying gun, but you grabbed it in a way that you actually pulled the trigger accidentally, right?
That's right.
And incredibly enough, the gun wasn't fired accidentally into the floor or into the glass or into the ceiling. It fired right into Trudy Doyle's chest. Correct?
That's right.
Now, when she was holding the gun, was it in her right hand or her left hand?
It was in her right hand.
And when you hit the gun, was it with your right hand as you just demonstrated?
Yes, it was.
And that was with an upward motion?
Yes.
And did the gun go flying, fairly straight up? Would you say?
Sir.
Well, did you hit her hand straight up?
The gun obviously went up because I was hitting her from underneath. Straight up?
Well, did it fly off to her right? Did it fly off to her left? Do you remember any of this at all? Or do you think this might cause problems with your story if you give me a direct answer to that?
The gun went up, sir.
How did it go up? It went up only a few inches, you said, right?
It seemed so.
Unluckily enough, not above your shoulders so anybody could actually see that happen in the restaurant, right? You know nobody saw that, right?
I know that.
Right. Because as fate would have it, when you struck it, it only went a couple inches, so your body still blocked what anybody could see, right? Right?
That's what happened.
And when you grabbed it, we know that that first bullet entered the left side of her chest, right?
I'm not sure where the first bullet entered.
You saw the medical examiner, right? You saw him testify. You saw the charge. Did you see that?
I couldn't understand the medical
You couldn't
examiner.
understand it? Do you remember the testimony about Trudy's wristband? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember the testimony that there was material from the wristband that was in the right side of her chest?
Yes.
From a bullet, right?
Yes.
Do you remember that after Trudy was struck with that first bullet that she let out a scream and grabbed her chest?
Yes.
So isn't it a fact that the only possible explanation for the material, the metal from her wristband, in the bullet wound on the right side of her chest was from the second shot after she covered her chest?
I don't know.
You don't know that? Is this too complex for you? You're a police officer.
I don't know that, sir.
Well, let's take it step by step then. How do you think? Am I done?
Rome.
After, am I still going? I'll be done in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The gun recoils after that first shot, right?
Yes.
And after the recoil, amazingly enough, your body tenses up with all your training, and it goes off again, and it doesn't hit the wall, it doesn't hit the glass, it doesn't hit the floor, it goes into her chest.
That's what happened.
Are you the guy who told her if anyone is going to kill you, I am?
Yes, I am.
The fact of the matter is, officer, that you were living in a dream world, this dream of a new life with Trudy, right? My last series, right?
No, I wasn't living in a dream world, no.
You knew if Trudy was going to break your heart, you were going to blow hers out, didn't you?
No.
You cleaned out your locker and you loaded that gun. Right?
The gun was already loaded.
And chambered with a bullet, right?
The gun was already chambered.
You put the gun in your waistband. It was loaded. Correct?
Yes.
Might have even been cocked, right? You don't even remember.
It might have.
Do you leave that gun in your locker cocked or uncocked?
generally uncocked.
Right, so you must have cocked it if it was cocked before you left that precinct that night on your way to see Trudy, right?
If it was cocked, I did it.
Right. And then you must have uncocked it according to you, right?
That's right.
After sitting for 30 minutes, the woman is walking out of your life and you go and confront her, right?
Yes, sir.
And you confront her in the one and only place in that restaurant where you know nobody could see what was happening, right? Because you're blocking their view, right?
Where I know now or I knew then?
Then.
I didn't even think of that.
And you knew then that nobody could hear it after that glass door shut, right?
I wasn't thinking of that.
Right. And then she rejected you, right?
No, I didn't take
She
it.
said she's not going with you,
That's
right?
right.
And you did it. You did it. Because the only explanation, Mr. Diamond, is that you did it and you pulled that gun and you shot her straight through the chest.